and I want to say welcome to the South Georgia Clean City Coalition Kickoff Celebration. Today is the exciting culmination of many stakeholders coming together to advocate for the advancement of alternative fuels. This is what Clean City is about. We have a diverse room of stakeholders, and that's what it takes to get things done. You have to have the producers, the distributors, the retail, the teachers, everyone on the same page to use the fuel and also to be an advocate for that. I'm very excited about this kickoff celebration. I've been coming down here to South Georgia for the last 2 years, and the potential here is, I can't even tell you, because you have the land, you have the feedstock, you have the motivation, you have the ag department. I mean, it's just going to be a wonderful thing down here in South Georgia. So as we talked with Bill Boone and his group, it was a perfect fit to work in concert with the Innovation Center. Got a little echo here. And to promote the Clean Cities. Clean Cities is sponsored by the U.S. Department of Energy. It's about 90 coalitions nationally, and we started, I think, in 1993. And our coalition was designated in 2004. So in the short span of 2004 to now, we're one of the top 10 coalitions in the nation. We're one of the more productive coalitions in the nation. And that's the reason why we're expanding to North Georgia. We have an office in Rome. We have our main office in Macon, and now we have our office in Tifton. So we see a lot of synergy as we advance this in the state of Georgia.
I'm here today to tell you about some of the accomplishments of Clean Cities and then present some awards to innovators in alternative fuel. You've heard that Clean Cities is one of the organizations that promotes alternative fuels. We like alternative fuel vehicles. We help the producers that make investments in alternative fuels. Anything that will reduce our dependency on foreign oil is a priority for the Clean Cities organizations. We have expanded our chapter. Instead of just serving Middle Georgia, we've expanded our scope to Georgia Clean Cities, and we're celebrating a new chapter here today with South Georgia. We spent some time up in North Georgia a couple of months ago to bring on board a new chapter up there as well. Some of the work that we do goes into the grants arena and bringing funding to put alternative fuel pumps in convenient locations so Joe and Jane Citizen can start using this fuel. Just about every gasoline engine manufactured since 1986 can use a 10% ethanol blend without any other engine modifications. A diesel engine can use up to a B20 biodiesel blend without any modifications. And depending on who you talk to, some of the experts are saying we may be able to push that even to higher percentages. The ethanol blends on for E85 are flex fuel vehicles where you can use up to 85% alternative fuel in your tank. That means only 15% of the fuel is imported oil. So we're trying to get the word out, educate the public that there are options to sending your fuel dollars to international settings. We can buy Georgia homegrown products and keep the money right here at home. We're waiting for an announcement from the U.S. Senate if the energy bill does pass before Christmas. Special initiative funding will be coming to Clean Cities, Georgia to complete the I-75 corridor with public access alternative fuel stations. We expect to get $350,000 to position these stations every 50 miles up and down this major thoroughfare all the way to the Florida border. And if you've got a convenience store in the area and want to put in an alternative fuel pump, we want to talk to you because we will match up to $20,000 towards the construction of that project. Our own Georgia legislature also got on board this past year. Senator Ross Tollefson was so inspired by the Clean Cities work, he made the special effort to get Georgia funding to put in alternative fuel pumps. And I believe that matches up to $15,000, Jill?
I think 20,000.
Okay, up to $20,000 also, and that brings more stations to the public. But we're here to recognize some innovators today who further the cause of alternative fuels. First, I'm going to call to the podium Bill Boone for spearheading the Southeastern Bioenergy Conference each year. The brainchild of this gentleman has really put us on the map as being one of the leaders in getting out the word on what can be done with alternative fuels. Congratulations, Bill.
I am flattered by the honor. I am humbled by the honor. Thank you so very much. Everything that we do here in Georgia is a team effort, and certainly the University of Georgia Tifton campus has been key in this effort. Jill Stuckey with GFA and I and Donnie Smith with the governor's agricultural liaison worked hand in hand as we went through this entire process. So the credit goes to the entire team. Thank you so much.
Now, you may have seen things, stories in the newspaper about ethanol and ethanol getting a bad rap and how growing it from corn is using more energy than you get out of the final product. It seems to be to some of the naysayers that in the case of ethanol and the feedstock, if you have to, let's see, grow it, mow it, hoe it, stow it, you might as well forego it because you will not show a profit from it. So the technology innovators in Georgia have gone an alternate route. It seems that if you have an ongoing process that has a waste product from which ethanol can be manufactured, you make a lot of money off of that. Where you had previously had to dispose of the waste, well, now you can convert it into not just an alternative fuel stream, but some big bucks for your corporation. And one of those who has done that with the ethanol is Desmond Stewart from Wind Gap Farms. And if you'll please come forward. In his process, he's making pet food from the waste lager coming from the breweries and converting the waste product to ethanol. So Desmond, congratulations. Get a good picture.
I'd like to thank everybody for this honor. Probably very few of you know anything at all about us. We've always kept a very low profile. We've been in business for about 20-something years. To give you a little bit idea of who we are, what we do, we take about 25 years ago, we were contacted by Miller Brewing Company here in Albany. They were having problems disposing of their waste stream. Basically, the waste stream was coming from their beer lines. They were having a lot of problems disposing of it. It's basically brewer's yeast and alcohol and water. And they were basically land applying it, they were putting it in lagoons, anywhere they could find to get rid of it. They were paying about, I think, $300,000 20-something odd years ago to dispose of it. Well, we came along, we were asked to come along, and at the same time, Miller were asking other people in different locations where the breweries were to do something similar. Well, what we did was we built a drying plant, basically, to take the yeast, the brewer's yeast, which is used as a flavor enhancer for dogs and cats and horses. They love the low pH, the hopsy flavor. So, and then we had obviously the alcohol, and at that time we built a system And we built it ourselves to remove the alcohol, to take it from about 5 or 6% alcohol up to 190 proof. And we didn't at the time, we didn't have the technology to bring it up to 200 proof, but we were selling it as 190 proof. And then it was going to someone up in Virginia who were taking that 5% water out of it. So about 12 or 14 years ago, we built our own molecular sieve to take it from 190 proof up to 200 proof. And we've, to give you an idea, we were selling it up to about 3 years ago. We couldn't find a distributor in Georgia to take it. Nobody wanted it. Nobody wanted to handle ethanol. And we were shipping it all out of state. It was all going up to Virginia. Someone was going to Alabama, going to the more, the places where the markets were. So about 3 years ago, we found a distributor here, which is Davis Oil over here, and they've been doing a good job. They've been doing a good job in selling it here. So it's great to see, from 20 years ago, none of it was going into Georgia. Now it's all going to Georgia, which is great to see. And it's great to see that more and more products are being used to make ethanol out of. We don't grow it. We don't grow it as we're saying. We don't farm it. We just it's a waste stream that was being disposed of down the drains or vaporized or wherever it was going. And there are a lot more products out there, and a lot more technology is going into it now, and it's going to be, you're going to see a lot more developments in it in the future. So it's great. But I appreciate the award, and we appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Now for an innovator in biodiesel, I save the best to last because biodiesel is near and dear to my heart. As you heard, I drive a 1980 Mercedes diesel, and it runs on biodiesel. It has 252,000 miles on it. And in the old days, a plume of black smoke would come out of the tailpipe when I started it up. But now with the bio blend, there's just poof, there's hardly anything there. There's no smell. I used to have a terrible classic diesel racket. Clack, 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 clack. Now it's just and at the conclusion, when you go out and see the alternative fuel vehicles, you will see my Mercedes diesel out there. It does have a personalized plate that says biodiesel, BIODZL. And all of the bumper stickers from Davis Oil Company. So biodiesel is very special to me. And so I'm very pleased to present this Extra Mile Award to David Perry from Perry Brothers for their biodiesel production from the waste poultry fat.
I'm Dave Perry with Perry Brothers Oil, and when we started using the biodiesel, we're not a producer, we are a blender and a wholesale distributor. And the first thing we did, we started using it in our own trucks and our own fleet to test it. And like you said, immediately the soot went away. Sometimes it's cost us a little money to use biodiesel, sometimes it saved us money. The main thing to us is about the environment, and overall it's going to weigh out, as far as the profits and the losses. We definitely think it's the right thing to do, and I appreciate it.
Thank you. I have only one complaint about using the biodiesel in my Mercedes. In the old days, if I had a nasty tailgater right up on my bumper, I could let up a little on that accelerator and then just slam down on it and leave them behind in a cloud of black dust. And I cannot do that anymore with regrets, but I'll get over it. Let's see. Next, I'd like to recognize our diamond donors in the room. I think there are 3 among us. Ordinarily, we present a Diamond Donor Award, and you're in good company. Our governor is now an honorary Diamond Donor. Let's see, Jill Stuckey, representing GFA, contributes $5,000 a year to the Clean Cities program. Davis Oil is with us. Davis Cozy and Mr. Burnett are here. They also contribute $5,000 a year to Clean Cities projects. And let's see, Department of Agriculture, Mike Snow is here. Tommy Irvin always sends $5,000 a year to support our activities. If there are any donors in the room who would like to make their contribution before the end of the tax year, I will present this Diamond Award to you today. Anyone? Anyone? Going once, going twice. Okay. Well, I am not a Diamond donor. My husband and I are both retired on the Georgia Teacher Retirement Plan, but I am a volunteer, and I think very highly of Clean Cities. And for the past 2 years, my husband and I have been able to make a small donation to the cause. So Sharice, if you'll come up, I'd like to present Clean Cities Coalition with a $1,000 personal gift.
Wow. New shoes. I actually, we have one of our new partners here, Ms. Moore. Can you come up and just talk about, we have a couple exciting vehicles out there. And so once we finish, feel free. You can drive the propane. I have the key right here in my pen, and I want to introduce you. So come in and.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Roger Moore with Allen Vigil Ford up in Atlanta. My dealership owner, Mr. Allen Vigil, has been an innovator with both on the automotive industry for many, many years. He's had the dealership since the early 80s. And each time an alternative fuel vehicle has presented itself, he has jumped on board with both feet. And when I came up to the dealership for the first time in '96, we were in the middle of the compressed natural gas Crown Victorias. And we sold approximately 27% of Ford's entire production of that year with the natural gas cars. We've been on board with state purchasing, DOAS, since that time with propane, natural gas. When the electric Rangers came out, we were the largest dealership in the United States for Ford Motor Company with electric Rangers. The propane truck that's outside, we are currently the only dealer in Georgia, only 2 of us in the United States that are signed up with Roush to handle this vehicle, being, I said, dedicated propane, liquid injection, extremely good, efficient system. All of the ethanol vehicles that have been produced by Ford Motor Company, of course, we have handled those. And our newest line is the Miles Automotive Group vehicles. I've got 2 of the electric cars here with us today. You're certainly welcome to drive them. This is the first edition for this company in the United States. If you may or may not recognize the body style, but it's on the road in Asia and Europe with gasoline and small diesel engine under the Daihatsu brand. It's their micro mini car. It's not eligible to be on the road here in the United States due to NHTSA's restrictions on airbags and that sort of thing. But these are low-speed vehicles at this point. They're low speed, which limits them to 25 miles per hour. They can be legally tagged and titled and put on a public road with a 35 mile per hour speed limit or below. Thank you, federal government and multiple agencies that will not talk to each other to get all the numbers concurrent. But so a 35 mile per hour speed limit, road, 25 mile per hour maximum speed. They're 100% electric. These cars will cost you approximately a penny and a half to penny and 3/4 cents per mile for fuel. So if you've got a 20 mile per gallon SUV, $3 gas, that's 15 cents a mile. You do the math. If you're in gated communities, enclosed areas, big warehouse complexes, apartment complexes, that sort of thing, these units do have a place. They're not going to be till you drive from here to Atlanta, but like I said, that's our new thing at this point. Within the next 10 to 12 months, we will have a high-speed, highway speed capable vehicle from the same company. It'll be powered by lithium-ion batteries, which is the same thing that's in your laptop and cell phone that you're carrying right now, just on a little larger scale. It'll be the first major automotive production use of lithium-ion. These will be 80-plus mile per hour with 120 to 130 mile range projected. I say we should have those in our showroom within the next 10 to 12 months. But good company. The company was started, just real quick, by Mr. Miles Rubin, whose granddaughter severe asthma her entire life, and he made his millions in other enterprises. Decided in his late 70s that he wanted to do something to help his granddaughter and other children with asthma. So he said the way to do that is zero pollution. So he's putting his personal fortune into this company, and there are dealerships across the United States. I say currently we are the only one in the state of Georgia that is carrying this vehicle. But like I said, by all means, when we get through here, you're certainly welcome to run the vehicle around the parking lot, and I'll be, Woody Jones and myself will be here. I handle governmental sales. Woody's one of our commercial salespeople, so we can talk to public and private entities without a problem. But anything we can, questions, be glad to take them. And I said we also are distributing the propane truck in the area for this region. So, thank you very much.
Bottom line for Clean Cities is cleaning up the air. And when Sharice mentioned earlier, the organization started in 2004. It really came into being because air quality in Bibb County, Macon, was below standards. They had classified our community as non-attainment. And that has terrible ramifications. It can limit the federal funding that comes in. It can limit your growth, your economic development, and being in the county contiguous to Robins Air Force Base, the largest employer in the state, we saw this as an issue that had to be addressed. Our executive director, Sharice Stevens, has done a phenomenal job with all of the projects. The alternative fuels, getting the word out, getting the stations in place, bringing hybrid refuse trucks, the Dixie chopper, alternative fuel lawnmowers, just the whole gamut. In September, EPA declared that we were back in compliance and met air quality standards for ozone once again. And whether it's the way the wind blows or global warming or whether it was really Sharice, which I like her to take full credit for, these programs really do work, and it makes a difference in what's coming out of the tailpipe and going into the atmosphere. So we appreciate you being here. We appreciate the support you give to Clean Cities. I want to thank again our innovators and our diamond donors and the agencies that help with all of the collaboration, that because of you, all of us breathe a little easier. Thank you so much.
When Sharice Stevens told me we were an Extra Mile winner, our entire company was very excited. One of our goals from the beginning is to help Georgia become energy independent, and I think this award proves that we're accomplishing this goal. Perry Brothers Oil now has on-road fuel available in Americus and Fort Valley with several other locations in the planning stage. We also can supply industrial, governmental, farming, and trucking biodiesel throughout South Georgia. We can do that now. We've been doing it for 3 or 4 years, and if you need some or have the call, our phone number is 1-800-232-0961. That's 1-800-232-0961, and just ask for Dave or Steve or anybody that answers the phone can help you.
I'm so excited today that Perry Brothers is going to be winning this award. They're one of the early innovative folks in the distribution of biodiesel, and it's an exciting time. I think they have a lot of future in the biodiesel, and hopefully in the future some ethanol or maybe even some other alternative fuels. But I congratulate Perry Brothers on winning this award.
We're with the Georgia Centers of Innovation program, and I'm Bill Boone with Georgia's Agricultural Innovation Center. This is a part of Georgia's strategic industry program started in 2004 by Governor Sonny Perdue and the Georgia Commission for a New Georgia to do economic development in a more innovative and efficient and effective manner, concentrating on our strategic industries. We're one of 5 existing innovation centers today, with agriculture being Georgia's #1 money-making strategic industry with over $10 billion of input for the agribusiness industry in Georgia today. What we try to do primarily is focus on innovation in agriculture and agribusiness to keep our businesses on the cutting edge of technology. We do that by expediting research out of our university system to create new companies and new technologies, and thereby creating new jobs in Georgia. We have a Centers of Innovation grant program for up to $100,000. We require matching industry funds. We identify industry partners that have a need, a research need or an innovation need to make their companies more effective in Georgia. We partner with them, use their matching dollars and our Centers of Innovation research grant dollars to partner with the University System of Georgia research partner. That might be the University of Georgia in Athens, that might be Georgia Tech, it could be Fort Valley State. We have projects that we have worked with all of these different entities, and these are short-term, easy to get type research grants that would lead this company toward commercialization, make their business more effective in the state of Georgia. Clean Cities did present me with one of the innovation awards today, and I was most flattered and most humbled by that. We have a very strong bioenergy team in Georgia, and I am just a part of that team. Jill Stuckey with GEFA, who heads up Georgia's bioenergy program for